I'm just going to go ahead and cut to the chase here. We're entering week 6 of the NFL season, as the New York Jets is the only team that remains winless. This is the very first time in over 5 years that the New York Jets starts 0-6. Of course, Aaron Glenn is a first-year head coach. They have a new general manager in Darren Muggy, and they have an all-new coaching staff on all three faces of the ball. What really bothers me is that the offense is going out there putting out in points. The defense can't really stop anything. 3 out of the 6 games this season, the Jets offense has scored 22 or more points. Enough for a team to put the game away, right? To verify what I'm saying, here are the box scores from the first 6 weeks of the Jets this season, counting the one against the Bills and the Broncos, in which those were, iffy games. Week 1 against the Steelers, 32-34. Week 2 against the Buffalo Bills, 10-30. Week 3 against the Bucks, 27-29. Week 4 against the Dolphins, 21-27. Week 5 versus the Cowboys, 22-37. Week 6 against the Denver Broncos in London, 11-13. But 3 of those 6 games, they have scored 22 or more points. But they still can't win. Their defense is playing awful. Their defense sits at 31 in points allowed and 22 in yards allowed. But I get it. These are the only first few weeks, as most teams will adjust accordingly as the season goes on. However, for the New York Jets' sake, the question still remains. How did the Jets get to the point of being a complete dumpster fire, and why they're not putting any effort to win games, even when they had full control? The Jets hadn't had a winning season in 10 years, dating back to the Todd Bowles era. This team was terrible under Adam Gase, and it did not get any better with Robert Saleh, despite the right pieces for an all-around NFL team. Aaron Glenn is a new head coach for this team, and I honestly feel bad for this guy. He has to deal with a terrible quarterback in Justin Fields, who throws games away at the last minute when the team needs to actually seal the win. And then he also has to deal with terrible ownership in the likes of the brothers Woody and Chris Johnson, in which, in this case, Woody has been viewed as one of the worst owners in the NFL. While Chris is nothing but just an ambassador, he just goes out there and helps out his brother. Also, the Jets players have known to be really nonchalant, as most players on this team are very undisciplined. Jets players also lack motivation, as some come off having bad attitudes from not only their teammates, but also their coaches. The militant, hard-nosed approach does not work for this team, no matter what coach they put in there, or whenever a coach tries his hardest to actually install some discipline on this Jets team. It will never work for some weird reason. I am hoping that I am wrong, but the possibility of the Jets going 0-17 this year is more highly than ever. It makes zero sense that the Jets this season offensively are putting up points and still lose in the exact same fashion. And considering the right pieces on the defensive side of the ball, and having Steve Wilks, who is a proven defensive coach, presiding over this defense, they can't pull the ball back in the offense's hands, and the scheme that they're running is absolutely terrible with that. They're getting gashed all over the place by offenses. It's not just this season. This has been the Jets' MO for quite a while. No matter who you put in as head coach, it will be the same song and dance over and over again, as long as this cycle continues to go on for the New York Jets and the Jets organization as a whole. And before I go, I'll say this. For me, I want every NFL team to succeed in their own right, even a team like the New York Jets. But how is a team like the Jets supposed to excel at anything if they lack an identity? How are the Jets supposed to win games when you have a terrible quarterback decision-making in Justin Fields and other teammates showing no testicular fortitude for whatsoever, but have bad attitudes and no discipline. People can blame Aaron Glenn all they want. But as always, the problem always starts at the top with the organization and ownership of the Johnson brothers, specifically Woody Johnson. These are the exact reasons why the Jets have been a dumpster fire for so long and they can't accomplish anything, and why they are winless this season. The Jets can't blame nobody but themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Glenn, after this season, call it quits. Or even worst case scenario, he fires himself in the middle of the season. And then next season, he goes to another team that desperately needs help on defense to become a defensive coordinator once again, because that's the strongest suit. A head coach is a very hard position to take over. And being a head coach for the New York Jets is even a worse gig to take, because of the ownership, and the players don't have any accountability or lack motivation to literally have their hearts in the game. That's going to be it for this NFL edition of the Eli Speaks Show. And as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. How you like my take about the Jets being winless, and who was at fault for the reason why the Jets are winless this season? Do you believe it's the quarterback, Justin Fields? Do you believe it's Aaron Glenn, the coach? Do you believe it's the whole entire coaching staff? Or do you believe it's the culture that the Jets have in their very hands? Thanks for listening. And if you're a wrestling fan, go and review my latest short about WWE's Crown Jewel Perth.